Shut the fuck up, I'm ready. What up, y'all? It's your boy, one and only A Switch, aka the Butterfinger Bastard. I like that. I do actually like that a lot. aka the Pop Tart Prince. aka let me give you a full Nelson while half naked. So damn stupid. Let me adjust my gait a little bit. Give me 1 second. That should be good. I hope. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, my gaming podcast where I talk about everything gaming related and that interests me. Not sure I'm taking these long pauses, but you know what? I'm gonna just ride with it. Cause I don't give no f. So today's date is October 17th, 2019. We in that spooky month though. We still in that spooky month. You know it. I know it and you know it. The month of frills, thrills, and chills. It's October, baby. You already know. Yeah. Yeah, so fairly interesting week. Had some interesting tidbits go under today. So let me give myself some more light. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I hate y'all for not telling me like my damn card was blocking a whole damn screen, but it's cool. Y'all wasn't even gonna tell me that, but it's all good. This is more so for the people that watch live or recorded whenever I decide to upload these. So, without further ado, I say let's get into this news. So probably the biggest news development, at least that I found interesting, I would have to give it to Riot Games. So presumably capitalizing off the just wildfire that was the Riot Games not Riot Games Activision Blizzard controversy that we talked about last episode. Man, Riot picked a perfect time to capitalize off that for sure, cuz man, they went to work. They dropped a lot of news in terms of upcoming titles that they're gonna make, which are clearly directly competing against Blizzard. Um, they're making a first-person shooter, which is called Project L currently, or Project A. Um, Man, I saw the trailer for that. That shit looks tight as hell. It's like Overwatch, but like if you put like a lot of put a whole dab of Counter Strike in it, and it just spoke to me on so many levels. You have just the control and precision of Counter Strike while still having some of the I guess what would you define it? Natural, free roaming. No, kind of the what would you really define it as? Kind of like the, I don't know, suspension of belief or fantasy elements that you would find in Overwatch. And I think, man, that if done right, that could be a recipe for being the Overwatch killer for real. Even though I guess technically Overwatch, I guess that's a testament to Overwatch. But I mean, it's been moderately successful, I'd say, in terms of sustaining its success compared to other IPs in terms of a long-term game. It came out in 2016 and they're still getting heroes and updates and things like that. So, I mean, I think if anything, yeah, it could directly, it seems to be a direct competitor to Overwatch in my opinion. With some slight variation here and there, but so, yeah, so man, I definitely want to play that whenever that comes out or whenever this comes to be. That was definitely on the top of my list in terms of like that caught my attention and that's instantly on my radar. So, also keeping in line with the Riot news, they also revealed what did they reveal? A fighting game. I think it's called Project L. And it seems to be, or at least the rumors are going around, it's gonna be apparently a League of Legends fighter. So basically a fighting game featuring League of Legends characters. And I'm not big on League. I've barely played it, if any. Maybe like one match. I'm like, it's not really for me. But I know they have like a ridiculous amount of heroes that you play in that game. So, I mean, for the League fans, it seems like a recipe made in heaven for that specifically. So I can see that still that being successful, and it is also from the same people that made Rise and Thunder, which was supposed to be like a different approach on fighting games, whereas more so simplified than other traditional fighting games. So that it's probably gonna do real good regardless. I don't really have any interest for that, considering I don't really like, or obviously I'm not attached to any of the League characters, but it's probably a no-brainer for League of Legends fans. I'm assuming, well, I guess they didn't reveal details about the pricing and stuff like that either too. Also, I guess in line with news for League of Legends fans, apparently it is coming to consoles now. I think Xbox One and PS4 specifically. So, man, like 10 years after? But I mean, that's kind of where we're going anyway when you think about it. But that's pretty cool that, more people have more options to play the game, in that respect. And I think they revealed some astounding number that like League of Legends has like 8 million concurrent players or something like that. I don't know about that. I think maybe registered characters. I mean, registered people. That would make more sense, I think. But I mean, who am I to guess? Oh yeah, and then it's like probably the other weirdest thing. They're like, I guess, jumping on the simulator train that they're gonna make a simulator for esports, or esports manager simulator, where basically you're a manager of a esports team, and you basically manage, I mean, presumably all the aspects that come into play when you do that. So I found that pretty weird and interesting at the same time. Wouldn't tickle my fancy, but I mean, if it was free, I might try it, maybe a little bit, maybe just dab a little in it, just a little, just a little. But outside of that, nothing else really. I mean, I haven't really been a huge fan in terms of Riot's games. Well, they never really, appealed to me in terms of genre in general. I'm not really big on tactical strategy games. Strategy games, I am not. What do you call it? MMO strategy or something like that. I know it's some subgenre, but traditional strategy games like Fire Emblem, man, that's the only one that really comes to mind. Fire Emblem, Shining Force. Trying to think of any other ones. They don't come in my mind. But yeah, those I can get with, but I don't know. Just a huge barrier of entry. Like a lot of games normally makes me stray away for those specifically. So but cool stuff either way, good on Riot for capitalizing off the atrocity that happened with Activision Blizzard. It's like, hey guys, I mean, man, look at these guys over here. Boy, they're having a rough week. Well, now that we have your attention, let's display our rollout of all these awesome games you're gonna want to play more and over Blizzard after you deactivate your account with them and play with us. Huh? You like that? Huh? All this appeal to you, huh? All right. Riot is the random stranger with the beat up minivan with the candy, but the candy ain't even fresh or appealing. It's just like the candy that come out the old ladies' purses. Not even the strawberry ones either. It's just like, it's probably them like circus peanut looking candies, and those ain't really good. Those nasty. Don't eat those. Just knock them on the floor. Ants probably wouldn't even eat them either, But I digress. Yeah, so good on Riot. I am definitely going to keep my eyes on that first person shooter game. That looks like it is up my alley, if you know what I'm saying. What up, Rachel? How you doing? What is good? Keep in line with the well, not really keeping in line, but kind of somewhat similar or related. Google Stadia, they at least according to The Verge, they announced some news in particular with the Stadia controller. At least the promise they made at the announcement is that it was gonna be wireless, or have the wireless capability of connecting directly to the server, so it would in theory eliminate lag. But now they kind of are backpedaling on that. So at least that the pre-beta or early adopters won't be able to utilize the feature of this. They said it's only going to work with Chromecast Ultra, where you can play wirelessly to it. But for PC and phones, you have to freaking you have to play wired. So it's like defeats the whole purpose of the whole Stadia experience. Going from, at least what they were showing in a demo, going seamlessly from phone to PC to your Chromecast Ultra on your TV. But that's like, well, I can't do that at launch. So, all right, what am I going to do now? I just got what's just like all the other Stadia consoles. What am I going to do with that? Just going to look like an idiot with this damn Stadia controller that's wired. What is this? 2010? You know, ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. This is a big hit for Stadia, considering at least it won't be, I guess, available to the masses, but it is kind of like a messed up I don't know, message for people that are like, you know, paying money to beta test technically, especially with these details is not a good look, man. Not a good look at all. Mine's will get the Logitech. Just go ahead and do it. You know, I don't know. I think Stadia, if they don't change, man, they're playing anytime soon. They're probably gonna go the way of the Ouya. Stadia gonna be the Ouya 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's gonna be horrible, man. They really need to change their plan. I think when it releases, that's probably going to be a big wake-up call for them. And then when they see the ship start sinking, I think they're going to change how it should have been at start, where, you know, they actually have a dedicated subscription service. And, well, yeah, that's one of the biggest things, really. And outside of that, as long as they even do that, that's pretty much probably would be their saving grace amongst this thing, which it seems like they're going to fix it at some point, but it doesn't seem to be clearly stated when. So, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Yep. They're only going to learn until after they lose a lot of money. Like, oh, all right. They come make another keynote. Guys, we've heard you. We're now introducing a subscription model for Google Stadia. It's like, we were telling you that the whole time, man. What the hell? Yeah. Anyways. Is that really all I had for news? I did hear that, I heard the Nintendo Switch made a milestone. It reached 15 million units currently, so that's pretty good. Man, the Switch has hit it out the park, though. Man, we all thought, well, this console was probably do or die. Luckily, it was due in this case. But it's great to see Nintendo come back in its prime somewhat. I'm not sure compared to the Wii U sales, but maybe, who knows, after everything's said and done, the dust settles, sales will be pristine, clean. You know what I mean, you know? Outside of that, oh yeah, damn it, I'm forgetting everything. Jesus, how could I forget? Death Stranding, they announced the embargo, the review embargo will lift on November 1st. So that definitely shows a lot of damn confidence that they believe in the quality of this game. So, and apparently, like obviously, I guess all the reviewers or people who got the game early are playing it as we speak. Yeah, man, I'm very, I just don't know about that. I mean, initially, at least from everything I've seen, it does not seem to be, what's the word? I don't know, instantly enjoyable, likable. I guess it probably seems to be in the same lines as Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's kind of like a slow burn where you kind of learn to appreciate the game, and then it kind of grows on you. Because if that's the case, I'm totally fine with that, because that's definitely was my experience with Red Dead Redemption 2 also, where, you know, it was very slow, methodical, but it didn't feel boring or like I never felt necessarily bored. Like this is not meaningful. It felt like everything had a purpose to it, which I appreciated from that game, which I'm guessing or somewhat anticipating is going to kind of be with Death Stranding. And I mean, going by what Hideo was saying and hyping up and stuff, this seems like it's going to revolutionize games again, and probably going to see a lot of people copying the genre and, trying over again and all that stuff. So who knows, man? Who the hell knows? I don't know. I'm guessing in terms of from a score standpoint, I think it'll at least be 80 to 100. That's a huge gap. But people on Metacritic that just want to review bomb just to review bomb though. Yeah, I'd say I'll do you one better. 85 to 100. I think. I mean, he put a lot of confidence in this, and technically Hideo hasn't really made a horrible game necessarily. That I can recall that was like flat out horrible. That wasn't like, kind of interrupted by something, that was out of his control, at least specifically with Metal Gear Solid 5 and, stuff like that. So, yeah, he hasn't really, I don't know, given us a reason not to trust him. I mean, we had PT for God's sakes. That was going to be freaking ridiculous, and that didn't even come to be. So, I don't know, man. I at least hope that it is good and great. I at least hope. Hope and pray that it is good, Well, only time will tell, but that's at least a good sign that they are confident in the quality of the product and aren't going to try to hide it or obscure it. That's probably not a valid verb, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm excited for it though. Mildly. Shut up, Siri. Nobody asked you. Getting tired of you. I'm getting so tired of her. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers news. Let me double check, make sure I didn't miss anything that I find interesting. You know what? Let's dig into some NPDs. Why not? Let's check them NPDs. Let's check them. So, for software, specifically, we'll try to jump around a little bit. We'll at least do top 5. So top 5 for September, NBA 2K20, big surprise. Borderlands 3. No, I'm not necessarily surprised by that. I was thinking because of the controversy with Randy Pitchford and everything that maybe would hurt it, but people still want to play it though. So I guess at the same time, I'm not really surprised by that. FIFA 20. Oh my God, I can't believe it. A sports game. Legend of Zelda's Link's Awakening. This does not include digital sales, so that's actually pretty good. Somewhat expected. I mean, Zelda be pushing them units really when you think about it. Madden at number 5. Wow, so yeah, the top 5 is getting dominated by sports mainly. Ghost Recon Breakpoint at number 6. I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought it wouldn't really resonate with people, considering the reviews at least. But maybe just people just wanted a tactical shooter to put in a collection. That Zelda do be equal money though. That's a good point. I underestimate Zelda. I really do. Gears 5 does not include Steam digital sales. So that's at number 7. I need to get back into Gears. I've been out of it lately. Cold Vein at number 8. Now this was a game I thought was gonna be, man, not anywhere even in here. I'm very surprised by that actually. Cause man, it was left out to like be freaking obliterated by every game that came out. Cause like they tried to, when did they release it? They released it at like a very weird time where some really legit games were coming out. But good on Cold Vein though. I mean, hey. Especially, you know, kind of being yet another Dark Souls clone. It was in some weird anime niche, like anime and Dark Souls, but I guess that that resonated with people. Wow, I'm very surprised by that. NHL 20, number 9. Mario Kart 8 at number 10. Okay. And man, the juggernaut that will never die. Grand Theft Auto, well, Minecraft at 11. Grand Theft Auto at number 5. Smash Ultimate 13. Everything else is pretty expected. Spider-Man. 2 Zeldas. So Breath of the Wild has got that 20 spot. So outside of that, with the biggest surprise, Code Vein. Wow, I thought that was gonna do horrible, but man, number 8. I'm very surprised by that. Let's see. Yeah, actually, that is impressive. So let's go back to Gears 5. It is pretty impressive that it is considering the Game Pass initiative for that could have really detracted from, or you think would really hurt the sales for that game, but that's not bad for number 7, and also being on Game Pass where people can just, you know, pay $1 to play it in its entirety and then, you know, bail out into a subscription after. Yeah, when you think about that, that is pretty impressive. Yeah, $10 a month if after, you know, you want to still continue with it. Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. Wow. That is something to consider. 10 best-selling games so far. Let's just recap that real quick. I'm not seeing any major differences since last time we checked. Yeah, NBA 2K20 number 1, Mortal Kombat 11 number 2, Borderlands 3, that's new at number 3, Madden number 4, Kingdom Hearts 3 number 5, Division 2 at 6, Anthem number 7, Smash Ultimate number 8, Resident Evil 2 number 9, Grand Theft Auto 5 number 10. Okay. We'll run over the top 5 in the last 12 months. Red Dead Redemption 2 number 1, Black Ops 4 number 2, Smash Ultimate number 3, 2K20 4, and Mortal Kombat 11 number 5. Okay. I'm curious about. I am surprised. We'll cover some of the platform exclusives. So for Xbox One, Borderlands 3 at number 1, 2K20 at number 2, and Gears 5 at number 3. PlayStation 4, NBA 2K20 still killing it. Borderlands 3 at number 2, and FIFA 20 at number 3. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if all games were multi-platform, yeah, the list would totally be very different for sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, hands down, it would. Nintendo Switch, Link's Awakening number 1, Mario Kart 8 number 2, Smash number 3, Breath of the Wild at number 5, and Spyro at number 4. Mario Maker 2, Dragon Quest 11 number 7, Astro Chain at number 8, Mario Brothers U Deluxe number 9, and Mario Party at 10. somewhat expected. No surprises there. I'm surprised Dragon Quest didn't hit the top 20, but just got trumped. And I guess kind of the sadness of the Nintendo 3DS. So Pokemon Ultra Sun, Pokemon Ultra Moon, 1 and 2 spot. Super Mario Maker number 3, and Legends of Majora's Mask 3D number 4, Mario Kart 7 number 5. That is crazy. 3DS still chugging it. I'm curious who's gonna win when Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out. I personally think everybody's gonna go with Sword and versus Shield. I mean, it's like off the name alone, it's like who would choose a Shield over a Sword? Well, I guess if they know, I know there's gonna be some exclusive Pokemon and evolutions for each platform and stuff like that. So I mean, that's something to consider. But my prediction is that Pokemon Sword is gonna be a Pokemon Shield when we get those details. I guess more than likely in December in terms of NPDs, but interesting NPDs actually. I do find these very fascinating just to see. Well, obviously, at the end of the day, reviews, critical, criticisms, and major issues with games and whatnot. At the end of the day, as long as they selling, I mean, that's really what matters at the end of the day, anyway. So I mean, regardless of our preconceived notions as educated, knowledgeable gamers, I do find it fascinating just to see what us as a whole do tend to buy the most as a collective group of gamers, if you will. So. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, that tiger do look cool though. I ain't gonna lie, he do look kind of sweet. Yeah, Sword is good, but I don't know. Just the name for me. Just I can't help but deny the Sword. I gotta go with Sword. I'll probably end up get both. Who am I kidding? First Pokemon console, or technically console game. I have to try to get back into my Pokemon grips. We'll see though. We'll see. I'm waiting for that Pokemon gun though. I'm waiting for that Pokemon gun though. That release that comes out after the third edition. I hope it's Pokemon gun. Oh, that'd be so damn funny. Like the meme that was going around. Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, not really. That Pokemon gun though. You speaking my language now. You speaking my language. Yeah. So that was an interesting look at the NPDs. Let me check if there's any notable significance. Software sales are down compared to last year. Let's see. Compared to last year, sales are still about par in 2019. The money has shifted to Nintendo instead of Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Makes sense. I mean, you got the new revision, the Switch Lite too. Probably got some attention. And the technical revised base Switch. So gains in sales of Nintendo Switch software have been offset by declines across all other platforms, which is expected. I mean, we got the news from about the PlayStation 5 now, so obviously people are gonna be, waiting for the PlayStation 5 and obviously the next Xbox to follow suit at some point. So I mean, people are not gonna buy a new console if they know a new one is not gonna buy a new console this generation, knowing that we're going to get another one soon, if they don't have any problems with it. So all of that makes sense. This is from Matt Piscatella. the MPT god. That's what I refer to him as. Yeah, interesting stuff, man. Pokemon Gun Invest. I love it. I want it. I want it right now. Oh, you got that sword and shield? Some bootleg dude on the street. Hey, I know you got that sword and shield, but hey, dude, let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about this gun invest, though. This is where it's at. Ash is like black as hell. It's like, I can't even change my color. You can do that in other Pokemon games. Why am I black all the time? What is this? I don't get. I feel like I've been gypped. The case, like the damn game cartons, like it got like dollar store sticker on it. It just got crayon gun vest. Oh, it's stupid. That is stupid. I love it at the same time, though. I love it at the same time. Oh, you got that gun? Oh, man. Hey, throw that shit out right now. It's all about that damn fucking gun, okay? You ain't played a Pokemon game until you play Pokemon Gun. I'm just trying to tell you that right now. The Pokemon Sword and Shield, irrelevant. It's all about that gun invest. Know what you talking about. One day we'll get there. One day, open world Pokemon. One day. So I did miss last episode, so I guess we'll get into what I've been playing. We did miss some of the games I actually did play but forgot about for whatever reason. The first one was Halo Reach, the beta for the Master Chief Collection. I got into the flight of that and played a reasonable amount last weekend, and man, it is pretty great. Just having Halo Reach in 60 FPS 4K is just delicious, man. I was just licking my screen all day while I was so I was playing, right? I was playing with the controller and I just kept licking my screen every now and then because I was like, I can't believe this is a reality. But yeah, I didn't really notice any differences. Everything was playing really great. But I know they're gonna do a couple more flights before they actually release it, and also on PC too. Yeah, I'm definitely tempted to see what that is on PC. Goodness, all them damn polygons. Oh my god, my nipple's getting hard. I'm sorry. So yeah, I guess not really much to say outside of that. It's just some good old Halo. Love me some good old Halo though. So Project Resistance, which is the Capcom, or what I've wanted to be, Resident Evil Outbreak File 3 or some continuation of it. I played a good amount as well that weekend, and from what I played, it's okay. They definitely need to do some tweaking. First off, at least how the game is formatted, it's a 4v1 similar to Dead by Daylight, kind of, where 4 characters, you have to cooperate to get through basically sections of the levels, and then ultimately get to the end of the game where you can what can you do? You can do something, escape, because at least the story implies that you've been infected and you have to escape or something like that. It was still somewhat rough in terms of just the story, I guess, plot lines, if you will. But outside of that, it was cool, having the RE2 engine and being able to play like traditionally, like you would, or as one would, in terms of just having a multiplayer game using a Resident Evil 2 remake engine, which was pretty cool. So with that, it is pretty cool, but I don't know, just from a gameplay standpoint, it just needs some more balancing. At least for example, um, I feel like, at least from what I played, that the mastermind, and the mastermind is the one player that can basically control the map and spawning enemies and controlling particular enemies as well. They just seem very overpowered compared to the survivors. So I guess probably the biggest culprits of this would be the stronger zombies, as well as Tyrant. Cause good God, if Tyrant gets your ass, it's like over. But I felt that I was losing more to the mastermind out of not necessarily legitimate means, but it seemed like it just was a little bit too powerful than it should be compared to us as survivors. Because I mainly played as survivor, but I played like maybe like a good 4 or 5 times as mastermind, since at least in the demo or beta you can matchmake as the to be either or. But obviously I think, well, I would assume everybody would want to be a mastermind, and it's only one person compared to survivors, which are like a slew of 4. So I would assume it just would be easier to matchmake, because I did find myself having a longer time trying to match into matches with survivors being a mastermind and stuff. One pretty cool aspect about it was when you are the mastermind, you can choose to have the character who looks like some wannabe Wesker. You can choose to have him have his preset dialogue. He's like some French wannabe Wesker. That's at least what I took it as. I'm pretty sure that was the intention. Because like, if you, at least according to the trailer, I'm pretty sure everybody would assume that it was Wesker. He had a suit, got the suit with the turtleneck on, black suit with the black turtleneck on, and it just seemed like Wesker. Got the black gloves as well. Not sure if Wesker got another clone we don't know about. But yeah, so you had a choice where you can either, you can use his preset dialogue or his preset standard dialogue. Where he, oh, sacre bleu. That is totally insensitive, and I'm sorry about that. I was trying to just, okay, that was probably not really helpful, but you get what I'm saying, where you have him just saying random French stuff, and he would basically mock you as the characters are going through the stages, but you can actually switch it to where your actual voice chatting, and more than likely demeaning the survivors as they're making it through the stages. So I had to try it out. So I was just like, you're not gonna get out of here alive, and just doing the evil maniacal laugh. It was a good time. I thoroughly enjoyed myself doing that. They didn't get out alive. They died. All of them died horribly, and I was very happy. So that made my day. But in terms of just the state of it now, I don't really see myself playing it like any of the other one-off Resident Evil multiplayer games. It's definitely the best out of them. Obviously, in no comparison to Resident Evil Outbreak, but out of the multiplayer Resident Evil games, including Operation Raccoon City, Umbrella Corps, those are really the only other ones that were multiplayer outside of Resident Evil Outbreak. So yeah, it's definitely better than those, but still has some work to do. I would more than likely pick it up and play it, but I don't see myself playing it like by any extent that I play RE Outbreak. Maybe if they added like Leon, Chris, Claire, Jill, or they or they like add like some really cool maps from Resident Evil history, like, you know, the Resident Evil 2 map, or, you know, police station, maybe Resident Evil 4 village and stuff like that. If they added kind of stuff like that, that would at least keep me mildly interested and maybe play here and there, but I wouldn't see myself still playing that still. But they did have a survey, you know, to provide your feedback. You know, I damn well did provide my feedback. So, you know, I basically just said, like, yeah, I wish this was just Outbreak and maybe this would be a cool little add-on to it. And what else? Yeah, that just reiterating how the Mastermind is a bit OP in terms of his options compared to ours. He just seems to have a little bit more leeway than we do as characters. So, and that was another thing too. Like, at least speaking towards the survivors, I felt like there was too much dependency on other characters. I personally would have liked a bit more individuality of the characters, so you don't have to be so dependent on one another. I mean, obviously, I know that's the intent of the game, you know, to cooperate and teamwork. But I guess, again, going back to Outbreak, you had that dependency on other characters, and, like, you know, for example, like one scenario, if you have this tape which only one character has, they could expedite getting through a particular scenario because they are a plumber, or that's their kind of background. Cool stuff like that, where it's not necessarily detrimental to you beating the game or losing the game, but it's like a nice little touch, or a nice little, like, subtle, I guess, kind of benefit of playing a varied cast and, you know, utilizing your strengths and weaknesses. So as long as it maybe fixes that, I could probably see myself playing it longer. If they happen to get it, you know, insanely balanced, add a lot of post-launch support in terms of adding a great amount of maps to kind of cycle through, I could see myself playing it for the longer term. But from what I played, I'm very pessimistic about that kind of becoming a thing. So we'll see. Still disappointed that we don't have next Outbreak. But this is somewhat of a consolation. What is it? It's like, can I get a Pepsi? then they like,
we don't got Coke. We got Pepsi. Wait.
I said we don't got. Okay, let me restart. I asked, like, hey, do y'all got Coke? And then she like,
we don't got Coke. We got Pepsi. Is that okay?
I'm like, yeah, that's freaking Project Resistance, in a nutshell, I'd say, for people that have played Resident Evil Outbreak 1 and 2. It's like, okay, I guess. I kind of wanted another Outbreak though, but on the good side, the it is Rue, you know. But on the good side, or what's kind of endearing at least, or provides me some hope that we may see a continuation or something one day, is that it is, the groundwork seems to have been like it was kind of going to go that route to be a next Outbreak or a continuation or a reboot, but they just wanted to do a different spin on it or something. So hopefully, I don't know, if that maybe could, down the line, maybe them tried something with doing that. And I think they also said some news about the post sales of what was it? The Capcom in general, their sales in regards to their IPs. Let me try to find it. Where they basically said that they were surprised by the reception and sales of at least Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2 Remake, that they're going to be encouraged to make a lot of spin-offy or add-ons and stuff like that or whatever. Something along those lines. So that is a good sign, and that may help kind of add credence to possibly us seeing like a continuation of Outbreak, which that will make my day. That will break, well, not, that'll break my heart in a good way. So, yeah, I'll play it though. It's like, I don't, I guess. I wanted Coke though, but alright, I guess. Oh, Pepsi better. I mean, to be honest with you, that's I honestly can't really tell the difference. I mean, you could give me one or the other. I mean, hey, it still go down good. You know what I'm saying? Pepsi or Coke is still gonna go down good. You know what I'm saying? Why did I make that weird? I don't. I'm sorry. Yeah. So outside of that, have I been playing anything else? Oh, of course. Pepsi More Citrus. My taste buds can't even tell, to be honest with you. That's like Sierra Mist and Sprite. I can't even. Honestly, either is fine with me. I'm not that picky about that stuff, but I guess because yeah, I just can't really. It's not a significant enough difference where I'd be like, can't do it, can't do it, couldn't do it. Um, so probably the biggest game. Oh yeah, did I talk about? Yeah, I did. Last episode I was getting down into down lower Sprite to misty water. Down lower Sprite to mist Sierra Mist water. Hmm. Oh, okay. I get you. Sprite is pristine though. I do like Sprite, but I mean, that's just me. That's just me. My taste buds just in this. Well, probably all my friends could probably tell you that like my taste buds are probably the most inaccurate, not inaccurate, most of low quality. Considering what I tend to eat, so take that for what you will. But last episode, I talked about Silent Hill. Luckily, Silent Hill 4 The Room finished that over the weekend. Um, they are good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do like me some McDonald's chicken nuggets. I can't even. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. Put me in a damn cell. Throw away throw away the key. Last episode we talked about Silent Hill 4, The Room. I was pretty much going through it at the time, but I did actually get to finishing that over the weekend, this past weekend. Yeah, man, it is not it is the weakest Silent Hill I've played out of the quadrilogy, even though there's more than four. It's probably the weakest in my opinion. I don't know. Just the main thing is the escort mission with the one girl. The room concept was pretty cool. But I don't know. Outside of that, the I don't know. It just didn't really resonate with me like I guess I wanted it to, especially compared to like Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2 and 3, and even 1 really. Rating for McDonald's chicken nuggets. If I had to rate, I guess what would I be rating? Well, I don't go for it. I go for other stuff if I ever go to McDonald's or something like that. So, oh, my bad. I mean, while we at it, I guess maybe an 8. Maybe 8 for that. Rating for Silent Hill 4 though. Probably I'd probably give it a 6. 6 is 6 is probably where 6 out of 10 is what I feel about it, at least. It's okay. I got through it. It had some interesting stuff that kept me going through it, but at least comparing to the other games, it just didn't really resonate with me. The whole, I guess it also in turn with the protagonist. I forgot what his name. Damn. Well, Henry, I think Henry. He just wasn't a very interesting protagonist to play as. He just seemed like just some nobody. Like he was just put in here. It was like, hey, oh, I'm just in this. Ugh, I'm just in this whole thing. I just got to deal with it. He just seems so like out to lunch. The whole story. I don't know. That was a big factor. Um, I would have liked more. I don't know. I would have liked just more mystery, and I think the fact that it doesn't, it did the game pretty, yeah, the game technically doesn't take place in Silent Hill at all. That probably added to it because I mean I think that's a lot of the appeal of the Silent Hill games. At least the first three, you have, well, I guess three technically didn't take place in Silent Hill. It had a lot of very similar moments, but I don't know, just the environments felt a bit more uninspired compared to the other Silent Hill games. Um, Stuff like that I think really gave 4 a disadvantage in that extent. It had a lot of cool ideas. I just wish it was executed more gracefully. That's what I say. But I mean, it's passable. It's tolerable, I guess. But that's not really saying much in terms of it. A positive review of the game, but it's passable. But it's definitely the weakest of the Silent Hills I played. Playing 1 through 4 so far. Not sure if I really want to play any of the other ones after that, since it seems like it's still kind of in that same area where it's kind of in the same quality as this. Even though I think some of the other ones, later ones, go into Silent Hill also. So, but yeah, I mean, I just wish there was some more interesting story beats. It does have some of the weirdness that Silent Hill is known for. Like, I don't even know what the hell that one girl with her head and having orgasms and her eyeballs follow me or whatever. One segment of the game or whatever. It was just, it's Silent Hill weird, but maybe just not enough of it. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think just the environment. I wasn't really grabbed by the environment, but overall, was just a weird, it wasn't really didn't feel of quality as Silent Hill 2, which I think is still the greatest one out of these series that I played. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on Silent Hill for The Room. Maybe next year I'll maybe play another one. Who knows? But still sticking in line with the spooky October games or horror related games. Extermination is very freaking random and probably nobody knows or cares about the game, which is totally valid. This is for the PS2. It came out roughly around the launch of the PS2, I believe, 2001. So I think that's when the PS2 launched, around that year. So I remember playing this game as a kid, but I was terrified as hell of this game when I was younger. But I never actually got around to actually playing it fully. I only maybe put 1-2 hours into it and then just dropped it. Never picked it up. So I thought now, if any, would be a good time to kind of revisit that and actually beat it and have a full opinion on it. Because it's always funny. Your opinion of a game is always very clouded until your opinion of a game is always very clouded as a kid till you play it as an adult, and it's like, wow, I can't believe I actually stood for this. You had, what is it? It's got to be, I think it's a term for it, where you look at games in a much more lenient light, probably because you have no money when you're younger and on allowance or whatever. Um, but now, yeah, it's like, it's entertainably bad. It's uh kind of teetles that line along it's similar to Resident Evil, where it's like, Resident Evil is very entertainingly campy, but with this one it seems to be like campy campy like campy as being very intentionally campy, where it actually is taking detracting from the campiness, if that makes sense. It feels like they're trying to be super campy, to just be campy, but not be campy, or not, basically to try to be unintentionally campy, but in turn actually be campy, if that makes sense. I think that's kind of a very fine line, where it's like you can be campy, but you can't try too hard to be campy, because then you won't technically be campy. That probably, that sounds very complicated, and it probably is, but I think I explained it. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this game. Mind you, man, it's kind of crazy. I keep thinking about it. It's like 18 years. This game came out 18 years ago. That is so crazy to me. Still holds up. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the best critic for that, but I mean, I still have appreciation for retro games, and playing even retro games I've never played before. Now. So I do have a lot of, I can admit I have a lot of leniency there, but I think even given that, I mean, it's playable. It has some iffiness here and there in terms of, defeating the enemies in the game, which it seems to be the common enemy are these, what, trilobite looking, creatures that jump at you and can infect you. And it seems like that's the, I don't know, kind of selling mechanic of this game. I'm not, yeah, it's pretty much is, where if you get enough, if you get enough infection all the way up to 100%, you'll enter this state of infection, or infection, where you have to go to a nearby station to stave it off, or get rid of it completely. And while you're trying to do this, your health is going draining pretty fast, so you have to kind of manage that as well. And then on top of that, kind of like a poison status, like in Resident Evil, random moments in the game, when you're in that state, you'll get temporarily disabled with, oh, I'm poisoned. I gotta reflect in this moment. I gotta embrace this moment of myself being poisoned, and abruptly stop myself to inconvenience the person controlling the player, and put myself even in more danger, type thing. So. But all in all, I mean, it's playable. It has a really cool mechanic with which I've never really seen in a game before, where you actually utilize your machine gun, or where you have I was saying it in my playthrough of it so far, but it's like Call of Duty's gunsmith before Call of Duty had gunsmithing now. So I feel like somebody at the Call of Duty team was like, you know what? Man, that cool ass game Extermination? Man, that gun customization, that's kind of tight. I have to emulate that some way. Probably didn't play this game, but I found that very interesting, a very weird, like, kind of a coincidence that the Call of Duty that's about to come out, Modern Warfare reboot, basically shares a lot of these features with this game, where you can get attachments. So you can get a shotgun attachment to your machine gun. I believe there's this rocket or missile one that you can get, but you have to get 3 parts, which I have yet to find. Flamethrower attachments, and then you can add other attachments to make your aiming faster and stuff like that. But probably I've said it in the playthrough, and it is the biggest freaking annoying mechanic or design decision in this game by far, and it still confuses me to this day, is why in the hell, um, but even a game in 2001 still, have controls for your aiming, um, permanently inverted, and you cannot uninvert it, which is you would think is the standard for everybody. I'm pretty sure most people play. What is the term for non-inverted versus inverted? Either way, regardless, it should have just been an option to switch between the two, which you don't have at all, which is so confusing to me. Part of me feels like it was maybe intentionally an intention of the game design, kind of like Resident Evil, where you have tank controls, and you know people complain about the tank controls or whatever. I think they're fine, but that it's a archaic mechanic to try and make the game seem scarier. You know what I mean? So it kind of gives you somewhat of a handicap in order to even the odds with the enemies, at least initially. But after you kind of get the hang of it, play a couple Resident Evil games here and there, then they'll actually, come to be second nature to you. But for this, no, I can't get second nature with inverted controls. I can't go up to aim down and aim down to go up, but that just throws me off. So that really, really comes into play with the combat in the game, where you, are aiming. Luckily, you have some type of partial auto lock, but it's at times, and depending on the enemy, can be very iffy and finicky to where it could, in some cases, get your ass killed. So that is my biggest gripe with the game. I probably would have enjoyed the game even more if they just gave you an option to change your aiming controls to inverted. Well, it should be inverted, non-inverted by default, and two, they should give you an option to either invert it if you want, or have it non-inverted. All of which they don't have. I mean, if you're the non-inverted type, you'll have a good time. But if you're generally the person that does not play with, inverted controls, you're gonna have a pretty hard time. That still confuses me. It's making me want to look up documentaries of them making this game, to what make them think that this was a good idea to implement permanent inverted controls. I'll never get it. It will bother the hell out of me. But I digress. I guess I forgot to kind of maybe touch on the story. It's kind of like, you're a Marine set to check out this site, and what do you know? This site is not as it seems, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. It seems to be like a inspiration, spiritual inspiration to the Thing. It seems like, because you got a very snowy, icy climate, and you have like random unknown creatures. You don't know their origin until presumably probably at the end of the game you'll find out about them. Kind of what I assume is the story of the Thing. I've yet to watch the Thing. I need to fix that at some point soon. Hopefully, I'll plan to do that. So, yeah. All in all, it's like a classic PS2 game, which I feel like has kind of been scratching my itch. For some weird reason, I have these spouts where I want to play some retro games, maybe just to humble myself, give me some more appreciation for where gaming has come from, and kind of going back to, I don't know, when you go back to the new consoles, you're like, wow, this is great. Look at these graphics, man. Things were so archaic back then. Man, just the thought that you had to freaking buy a memory card. I don't know. That actually sounds non-humble, but you get it. You get it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing pretty much all of this week. So hopefully I'll plan to stream a little bit later today, where we will plan to finish extermination. So stay tuned for that on my Twitch channel. If you're on the podcast platform, Twitch TV/HSwitch. So I guess let's move on to some off-topic stuff. Saw The Walking Dead. I'm still following it. On the second episode that premiered last Sunday. It not gonna go into any spoiler territory, but you did get to see in this episode specifically where the Whisperers, specifically Alpha and Beta, kind of their origins of meeting up before or during the outbreak of the apocalypse, or during the, I guess, origins of the apocalypse, if you will. So that was interesting. Kind of somewhat of a filler episode. It kind of felt like it didn't feel like anything notable. Well, I guess it did introduce a new character, Gamma, I believe. Alpha, Beta, Gamma. Yeah. So I don't want to get too much into it, though. I don't want to spoil for people that may be behind on Walking Dead and may be interested in watching it. So yeah. Outside of that, also saw El Camino, the continuation or movie continuation of Breaking Bad, the last season. For those that watch that, I'm not gonna try to spoil anything. I'll just give a general impression of it. Really thought it was pretty great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was nice to see some of the characters from the show come back and, get some additional context here and there, for kind of, how Jesse Pinkman has been doing since the events of Breaking Bad. So I think it was nice, cool little bow tie to kind of tie up, the kind of, curiosity, like, man, what happened to Jesse Pinkman, with Breaking Bad? I guess a lot of people didn't really necessarily were satisfied with not knowing what ultimately happened to him, but at the same time, it's kind of cool to know what exactly happened to him after the events of it. So yeah, I have to say I was thoroughly satisfied with the movie. It was pretty great, in my opinion. So you definitely get a lot of Breaking Bad vibes from it. So yeah, for what that's worth, yeah. Outside of that, I think that is all for this week. Again, pretty good week. And I guess let's get into let me go into a little personal. I guess for those that may be curious from last episode, I was ranting about my NAS, the issues I was running into. So after some more troubleshooting and trying to get stuff that would resolve it but didn't resolve it, ultimately found out that basically coincidentally both of my hard drives died. I have 4, and then 2 of the 4 died, of course, because that's why not one would die but both at the same time, apparently. So I'm guessing it was possibly the power supply I was trying to install, which was brand new and fresh, but I think I might have made the rookie mistake of freaking not swapping out the power cables that connects to the PC, in terms like the motherboard that powers the motherboard and powers the drives and stuff like that. My dumbass thought, like, okay, well, I guess obviously because they're the same brand, because basically I had like a EVGA power supply and another EVGA. Well, the one that went defective was a EVGA power supply after, I think, a reasonable amount of time, like, or was it? No, I had to get one for it. I think it lasted at least 2 years. And then it died. I'm like, okay, it seemed like a reasonable time. I think the general lifetime is 3. So I was like, okay, let me just get the same brand and, be up and about it. So, like I said before, I tested everything and everything seemed to be working fine. But yeah, go to find out that, I need to get a replacement power supply. So based off that, I think in line, I I guess in conjunction with that, when I was trying to get it to powering on or was testing it with the power supply that, I found out evidently to be defective, it somehow just blew out my hard drives, but luckily didn't take out the other ones, which I guess was confusing because obviously if that was the case, all of my hard drives should have got killed. But for whatever reason, I'm not sure what it was. It just killed the two hard drives I had. Kind of hurt because it had all my music collection. But luckily I didn't necessarily backed it up. I had my original location for my music, and I have it, maybe it's about like a year old, but since then I added a lot of music and stuff, and that is just a pain. I don't want to pay like out the booty hole to freaking recover the data either, and that's a whole bucket of worms. But luckily, yeah, like I was saying before, like I have drives are within warranty. Just have to replace them, but it just hurts because after all those hours of work, building up your library, organizing your jams, your playlists, and then all of it for what? Now it's for nothing. But that did teach me a good life lesson in terms of, specifically with something I was just ignorant of. Well, yeah, I guess ignorant is the best way to describe it. Where I had the luxury of freaking setting my drives up in a way that if two drives failed, I'd still have at least the terminology redundancy, so I wouldn't lose any data only the data that are on the disk technically, but it would still be salvageable or more salvageable than if I were to have the current setup like I do, where my drives are technically separate of each other, which you get more storage, but at the same time, if a scenario happens like it of course it did now, and you lose your data and your drives go out, then you're SOL, which basically am in that case. So it sucks a lot, but you know what, that it's a lesson that I didn't abide by, that every IT person or computer savvy person does abide by when it comes to NAS or network attached storage, is to always have your setup in RAID or redundancy, where basically if one of your drives fail, you can still recover and have it swapped out, which my dumbass didn't do. I wanted more storage, and I was like, oh yeah, that's fine for now. I'm definitely gonna do it at some point. And it was like probably a year, 2 years after I built the NAS, and then what do we have? We have myself without a drive that I have to replace, and what do I have to show for it? Nothing. All that data, all those years of work I did on implementing my library and making it, refining it, nothing. So I went a whole rant there, but for those weird people that are curious about that, I don't know. There you go. But yeah, guys, I think that will conclude episode 27 of Switches Sites. Thanks for listening or watching, as always. Some general housekeeping, of course. If you like to see this live, and if you're hearing it through your popular podcast platform, you can always watch this live on Thursdays at 8ish. I'm gonna try to commit to a time that I consistently do, but Thursday nights at on Twitch TV/aswitch. You can also catch me on YouTube at youtube.com/aswitch. I swear to God, man, I'm gonna get all these videos I've just been sitting on and have yet to upload and put work in, but I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna upload it. Okay, all right. Have any questions you'd like to submit to the show that will ideally get answered in a dedicated question and answer Q&A segment, if I get enough, you can submit them to my email at aswitchtv@gmail.com. And if you ever are so kind, you can feel free to like, rate, subscribe on your popular podcasting platforms. It helps out a lot. And yeah. So until next time, guys. Oh, yeah.